Welcome everyone to the Blueprint for Peace for Humanity, Day 11. This is the morning session for Tuesday, July 18th, 2017. And welcome to today's teaching. Mr. Keshe, is the way I understand it, won't be here today, so we'll be kind of on our own to work out things as we go along here. Okay, let me see.
What was our task? What was the task that he provided us to do?
Yes, thank you. I need some reminding on that.
I think we should ask the students.
Good idea.
I believe actually the the core team was gonna get us a document that would be able to be used by nearly everybody, that was approved through the foundation and of course by the core team. And hopefully we were going to be able to talk about that. There was also something, Mr. Keshe said something about being very exciting news that he was hoping to talk about today. So I'm assuming maybe that has something to do with why he's not here right now.
I would say that's mostly correct. Also, we have to come up with what we can do to move this along quicker, to have the people there that need to be there to sign for world peace.
Well, where do we start?
Okay. Well, do we have the document yet then? Can someone from is it the Earth Council or Universal Council that is supposed to present the document?
I believe he said the core team, or yeah, I believe it was the core team. I could be mistaken.
Well, as being part of the core team, I know that we did work on the document. But we believe we're having one of the councils come in and present the document when it is ready. It might not be ready right off the bat here first thing this morning. So I think we should move on until we do get that document in the background. If any of the Earth Council or Universal Council could come in and speak about that, that'd be great.
Without any kind of dead time, I was thinking at the moment, he did say Putin and the leader of China at the moment were kind of the main focal points, at least in that direction, to not worry so much about Donald Trump as, you know, I'm not even going to go why, but so mainly to start with anybody in those areas, if we have anybody in those areas offhand or present.
Morning, everybody. It's Lisa from the Earth Council, Australia. And yes, we did work on the document. It is ready. I'm not sure how to get you the link, but what we need to do is there's apparently 200 something territories and countries, and we're going to have to organize ourselves to see who's going to take which country, I suggest, and start ticking off the list. We also have in that document, we have an email address, which is where the replies need to go to. But my thinking is that the people who take on the task of doing the job of sending the letter must also send a letter or send a confirmation to the email as well to say that it's been done, so that we can tick off each one off the list so that we know that everything has been covered. That is my suggestion. The email is peace@theearthcouncil.org, which will be used for this. I don't know if any of the other members are there that have the letter at hand. I know it was finalized, and people may use the letter, and they would have to substitute their leader of the country, and you will see there are choices there in terms of who you're addressing, and you just have to make sure that it's appropriate for each country, but the basic format is correct. I don't know if anybody else has the link for that letter anywhere.
Lisa, were we going to use the PDF? Is that the one we're using?
I'm not sure, because the last I saw of it, it was on a Google Drive, so I'm not sure. You know, I'm not the techie guy, so I don't know how it's easily shareable and how it can, because people need to just open it up and then substitute the correct names and be able to print it off.
That's right. That's why having a PDF is probably not the best idea, though we can provide the PDF so people can copy and paste it into a document. I can provide a link for that on one of our sites. I will also try to find another document that can be edited as well. So if you give me a couple of minutes here in the background, then I should be able to get something going.
Thank you. And do you know where the list would be that of all the different countries? Because at least then people can see, and maybe they can put their hand up and say that they can cover certain places, because it would be good if the people from that country could at least start with that country, and maybe if they're living there or have been born there, they would cover that place if they've moved around in the world. Because I think it's more appropriate coming from a citizen, if it can be possible.
I recall seeing somebody, I think maybe Sandor, posted that list somewhere. I'm not sure if it was Facebook or where.
That was a different list.
Okay, sorry.
I heard this morning Ella had a list, but I don't know where it is.
Go ahead, Lisa.
I just heard this morning that Ella had a list, but I don't know where it might be.
There was one that was sent by Jimmy with a list. It's a list of countries. He sent to us. I believe I have a copy. And for Vince, it would be more appropriate if the document is in Word format, because people can add the names of their presidents or whoever they are sending to. PDF may be a problem to do that.
Google Docs, if we share it by Google Docs, Google Docs allows to download a copy according to the wish and desire of that one who downloads. So it can select open document format or Word format or whatever.
Okay.
Yes, if you do download it, then you can. If you open it in your Word document, then you can change it in your Word document. Is that correct, Sandor?
Yes, but not everybody has Word. Think of those who are using Mac or Linux.
Well,
the thing is, if we leave it in Google Docs, then is it not able to be changed without authorization? That's the problem.
It can be shared in such a way for people being able to view the document or to download it, but not to edit it. That can be done by the owner of the file to how he wants to share it. It can be made public for view only, allowing the public to view it, not to edit it. In that case, it's right.
But then how would they change it?
Everybody who has the link will be able to download a copy, if is familiar with how to use Google Docs menus.
Can they change it then in their own file that they have, that they create?
So there is a working copy, and anybody from the council can upload it on its own Google Docs and share it accordingly.
The letterhead is for Earth Council, because that's the letterhead that's being designed at the moment. There isn't one for the UC yet. So we have added the Earth Council letterhead. I'm going to just go and see if I can find the link to copy and paste into the chat possibly. Or
I don't think it's a good idea.
Have you got it? Okay, have you got it, Vince?
By the way, the best would be to be on the website, so Vince will have a word on that.
Yes, I was just about to say, let's not have it on a Google Docs. Let's give me some time, and I'll put the document on our site with a link, and I'll provide the link.
Okay. Yeah. So you have the document then?
I have the PDF.
Okay, no problem.
So people cannot edit the PDF. Most of the people cannot edit PDF. It should be Word and in open document format in both.
Yes,
so
Sandra. That's why I said we'll just hold on and let me do what I need to do in the background, and then I will provide the information.
Thank you.
Could we have someone read the document or share the PDF on screen so we could see it?
Yes, definitely. I will get you a link, Rick, okay?
Sure, yep.
Okay, I sent you a link. It should be a direct link to the document. Please let me know if that is not.
Yeah, that looks good. I'll share that. Okay, I can read the letter. Okay, letter goes as follows. Your Excellency, or Your Highness, we, the members, just a second to get my audio levels up here. We, the members representing the Earth Council, Universal Council, and core team of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute, by teaching new technology and creating new opportunities for peace over the past 12 years.
Rick, sorry to bother you, but it's not coming through full screen on the share.
Oh. Try again. So let me make sure I have the right letter up here. Okay, you should be able to see that then.
Yeah, much better. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, letter goes, Your Excellency, or Your Highness, we, the members representing the Earth Council, Universal Council, and core team of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute, by teaching new technology and creating new opportunities for peace over the past 12 years, have been giving a new opportunity for mankind to choose the path of peace, excuse me. Our objective is world peace, and its urgency is obvious now more than ever before. We request all peace-loving world leaders and the represented people to join us to establish world peace. For this reason, we cordially invite you and all the world leaders to gather in Haifa in the state of Israel at the seat of the Universal House of Justice, which has been built for this purpose by the collective effort of citizens of all the nations of this planet. The designated dates for the signing of the peace treaty by the world leaders is to be on the 2nd and 3rd of August 2017. As very large portion of humanity has now evolved from and beyond primitive, brutal behavior, it is time for leaders like yourself to take the initiative for peace. As blank is a peaceful nation, what need is there for huge expense on armed forces? All military expenditure is actually a waste of taxpayers' money. Country here has no need for aggressive behavior. We, citizens of this nation, are peaceful and happy by nature. It is time for change from war to peace. This is fundamental and necessary now. If this is your wish, it is ours also. To this end, we invite you to Haifa, Israel on 2nd and 3rd of August 2017, along with other leaders and dignitaries from around the world, where you can sign the World Peace Treaty on behalf of the blank nation and commit your nation to disarm and create an atmosphere of peace on this planet. A copy of the World Peace Treaty for you to sign is attached. There are better economic alternatives now available for immediate development through new technologies. These technologies provide vast new investment and employment opportunities that far exceed what has existed to date at a fraction of the cost and complexity. Based on plasma science, a completely new era of peace and prosperity is opening up to all mankind. I know you are a good and kind-hearted soul entangled in an outdated and failing status quo. Here lies an unprecedented opportunity. Be one of the first world leaders to seize this opportunity. Your name will then live on into the future of our children and grandchildren as the peacemaker, Prime Minister, President, King. Please consider this request written with the pen of our soul to your soul and respond with positive action. Yours cordially. P.S. Please respond to this invitation by 27th of July 2017 by email to peace@theearthcouncil.org. Whether your Honorable Majesty, Excellency, or Holiness personally or your appointed representative will honor the invitation. And there's links to keshefoundation.org, kfssi.org, and spaceshipinstitute.org. And that's followed by the World Peace Treaty.
So in all due respect, really what we do want is a PDF that is not able to be altered, be able to share up.
Also, Rick, at the very last page, if you want to scroll down to the last page, there's the graphic that we made up as well.
Yeah. Is everybody okay with the graphic and trying to sign on that with blue or black ink, which might be difficult to see?
I have a comment, Rick. First of all, there is one error all the way to the top, but we can start here. With this graphic, the World Peace Treaty in this graphic is not the same as the World Peace Treaty on above. So maybe this graphic needs to include the World Peace Treaty of the leaders, which is above in printed. I mean, not in the graphic. Does that make sense?
Different version.
Yeah, this is, but because this we are sending to leaders of countries, then we need to have a consistent World Peace Treaty, in my opinion. And that is in page 3 or 4, is where the one for leaders is. Just above this graphic, Rick. You see this one? Yeah, exactly. That's a different World Peace Treaty, specifically for leaders. And I think that should be in the graphic too. Secondly,
by the way, this World Peace Treaty for the world leaders has to be edited according to the title of the person to whom we address it. So
yes,
you don't send the prime minister to somebody who is a king, and you don't send king to somebody who is a president. So this is a draft which has to be adapted. And the other, which is at the end, that's for everybody.
This letter is specifically for world leaders, yes? If we agree on that, this editing of the World Peace Treaty that is now on display is really not an edit. If you're writing to the president, you leave the president and cancel the rest with a pen.
Yeah, that is which you cannot do it on a leaflet, on a graphical leaflet. Yeah, the last illustration is just a leaflet. It's not to be signed on that. It should be signed black on white.
Okay, so then there is one word that needs to be removed on the third line. Rick, if you can go all the way to the top. All the way to page 1.
Yeah, I also saw a couple of grammatical errors there, which I didn't notice this morning.
Yeah, this is the third line. I had seen it. We have, you remove we, because we, the members representing the Council, University Council, and core team of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute, by teaching new technology and creating new opportunities for peace over the past 12 years, have, not we have. Because we have already used we in the beginning of the sentence.
I don't know if that's that editable version, Rick.
Yeah, we need an editable version in order to change it. So this is just, we'll wait till Vince gets that set up, I guess.
Okay, we'll have to get him to fix the grammar before he puts it up.
That's all I have for now. Thank you.
Okay, so shall we wait until we have an editable document and then get that up and start working on it?
Yeah, let's move on, and I'll get the editable one when I can here. I've already asked for it.
I don't know how it's going to be done, but I tick off the list. I think that's the only way we can go, and I'm not quite sure how to achieve that.
Right. I think also the Earth Council and the Universal Council needed help with getting the contact information for the world leaders too. Is that correct, Lisa?
I had assumed, because I heard this morning that Ella had a list. I don't know if the list includes information or if it's just a list of countries.
Yeah, she asked for help to get that, and she made she wanted to ask for the students to be able to help with that as well. So this is a perfect time to ask.
Okay, well then that's, yeah, if that can be our first port of call then, for all the students to be able to at least put up their hands and say, okay, I can research X, Y, or Z. So that you know, and we're not repeating ourselves and people are not doubling up. I don't know if that's how we can go. Sorry, it's just my organization skills kicking in here because nobody else seems to be doing anything. I'm just one of those people that gets bossy. Okay, so I'll hand you over to somebody else.
Lisa, this is John here.
Yes, John.
The date. Apparently, you've composed this letter, and the reference number also mentions the 19th, which is, to the rest of us, it's tomorrow. This can muddle some people up if you put your date on the letter.
It's just to show the placeholder so that people can edit that as well and put their date in, because they will have to edit this and add their own information in terms of who the person is and the leader that you are referring to. So you can edit the date. And we thought they would only start going out tomorrow anyway. So that's why we started with the 19th. The reference, I have no idea. I know that there was a reference put in there, and I don't know if it's supposed to be the same for everyone or how it works. I'm not very good at admin.
It will be the same.
Will it be the same? Okay, so that reference can just remain the same then.
The thing is, it gives us the idea it's confectioned in Australia because of the date.
No, that date was just stuck in there. I don't know who actually put it in even.
Well, but the number of the reference.
2 days to go out. It's not going to be only going out tomorrow. It's going to take us a few days to actually get all of this going.
Yeah,
so
but
it has to be editable.
The reference number gives us an idea of the date also.
And that's why it should not be changed. The date should not be changed whatever day you deliver this letter, because the reference refers to the date that it was written, 19th. So dates should stay the same, 19th.
So do not worry about the date. Haven't you got official letters from this office or from other authority which is dated, let's say, on 5th, and it was sent to mail on 7th or on 8th?
Okay, yeah, it
it's
may
not
not
the date of redacting the document. It's not the date of handling it.
Right, but the reference stays the same then. Thank you.
I imagine we also have to translate it to our native language. Give it both versions, or shouldn't we?
Yes, obviously you would need to do it in the various languages, I'm supposing.
With all this,
some countries like mine have 45 languages. So if I'm not saying I'm against translation. I'm just emphasizing a point that we can translate and we should, but then we must also be aware that there are so many languages within countries, and if you only deliver it in one of the languages, that may not be seen to be so good. So we have to take that into consideration, but go ahead and translate regardless. Thank you.
Yeah, this has to do with a world relation protocol, I assume.
This is John in Arizona. I'll step forward and put my name on the list to send one out to our president here in the United States. There's probably going to be others that are going to also equally send it out to the United States, but maybe more than one is good. And I think I can find the correct address to send it to through my local web searches.
I think, John, you may have to deliver it instead of sending it because we don't have a lot of time. It gives 7 days. Posting will take a week.
I'm thinking to put
Email
it in.
only.
We're going to email it?
I think email is the best way to get it there quickly.
The only problem with email is that it's almost impossible to get an email into a lot of the leaders.
That's correct. And I believe Mr. Keshe said that we can deliver it any way we know best. The best way and the quickest way everyone knows.
Yeah, maybe it's more.
Maybe a few ways.
Maybe it's more about sending it out from the soul and letting it land as it's supposed to land.
Of course, there are courier services with guaranteed delivery in 24 hours or 48 hours or 3 days maximum. There are several services like that.
And we also have to be aware that it's not like sending a letter to your neighbor. It goes through a lot of checks.
Maybe duplication is the best option.
If somebody thinks of delivering by hand, in that case, you should have a copy and you should have a receipt note for that who took it in his hand to sign it, to have an evidence of delivery.
You know, I don't know if that's real practical for world leaders.
There is a general question, Rick. If you go down, the letter starts by stating that we, the members. So the question is, who signs?
Who signs will sign in the name of the members.
Because that's not very clear at the bottom. You ask cordially.
It's all the members. Good afternoon. It's Caroline.
Oh,
it's
yes.
It's the Earth Council, the Universal Council, and the core team. Those three names appear, and I don't know, Rick or Vince, if the KF SSI Keshe Foundation should be mentioned as well on it.
Yeah, they are not mentioned here, so they should be included. Then we don't have to sign. It says
I think if we include it, and then, because my feeling is that just like the Australian one that was sent, it's best if it can go from a citizen of that nation as a member of the KF SSI. If there isn't a citizen of that nation, then the team members can step in and send it from the team. But I feel that it should go out from each, if they can, from a citizen of that country.
In any case, U.S. cordially should be followed by the councils. Typed. The Earth Council, the Universal Council, the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, and all those mentioned in the first paragraph of the letter. Thank you very much.
So we can include the members of KF SSI or the students of the KF SSI, so that that includes anybody who would like to help with this.
I think this letter should be free to upload by public, that they can only adjust the name, but you're going to have to give them some more room. Even individuals can sign if they're supporting the Keshe Foundation. I think they should have the right as each individual to sign under all council members their own name if they want to send it personally. I think everybody can take the responsibility to send this out. It's not just a few. The more they receive, the more they will pay attention to it. Because I think this was the guideline Mr. Keshe has given on last Friday, to stand up for your peace, to stand up for your individuality, to take the courage to stand up. And I think every single person should be able to download, fill in to whom they want to address it, and sign at the bottom under or structure their own name. What do you think?
I agree.
May I propose at least then also knowledge seekers then written on there, as well as the KF SSI students?
Yes, that's why I said make sure the council members are mentioned. KF SSI as Keshe Foundation. I see the email is already there. And then make maybe a small addition on the bottom of the letter if they want to send it in personal name. So that each individual or each group will start uploading the letter that they can sign and send it out. That we all can start traveling with this letter to make sure they're aware that we are requesting. And if you could guide with, you know, as we did with the supporting for the G20, as I requested for the members of the meeting there, to take 1 or 2 or 3 members under their wings to support their souls. I think we can create the same, that people can see an overview, that they can make a choice if they don't know who, where to direct, to have the exact name, the exact titles, that we can guide them. Give them a guiding letter with all the heads of states, all the kings, prince, presidents, whoever represents the heads of states, even how small they are, and maybe also the language next to it. I think that would be great. And if our team in the background can upload and transcribe this letter to be available for each language member to be able to be sent in their own specific language, that would be great. That we are not only going out in the English language, but that we make even the teams which know they don't have transcribers yet in their language, maybe to do the effort to translate it, and maybe Vince or Stanley can bring it back on too, as we did with the peace treaty, and put it in all the different languages so people can go and fish for it and just pick up. They will understand also more the content of what is in this letter. The understanding changes.
Yeah, what I was going to do is I was going to provide a link for the document so people can download. But let's get the correct document up there so people don't have to do editing more than once. So I'll provide the link once this is completed. But we appreciate all the input that we have received on it. I think we should move on. We'll get the document fixed, get a link, and then we can start the process of getting it translated by sending out the link to people.
This is an open meeting into public, or is this a closed meeting?
We're broadcasting right now, live.
Okay, I was not sure. That's why I'm asking. So I'm calling to everybody, or suggesting to everybody, when the letter appears, please help us, support us with the translation teams, and then put it out in each social network you're very busy with, the minute I get my hands on the letter complete, I will start posting it out and it will start appearing. So the more it gets translated faster, the faster it will reach more people in their own understanding. And it's a beautiful letter. I thank all of you who worked on it. And it's beautiful. We just need to create a little bit more space and adjustment, and it will be perfect. So if you're changing from the topic from the letter, what is next in line? Because I know you're going to be working on it in the background, Vince, to upload it. Can we move on to something which is connected but not connected? Hello.
Hello. So would it be a good idea that maybe we actually show the letter this afternoon rather than now, and allow the councils to work on the letter in the meantime?
Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah, because I want to share something which is in connection with this letter, which a few of the Universal Council members are aware of, which it only happened in our meeting, but I would love to bring it into public because there is a connection which I know about. And I had already a conversation in the background with Vince about this. That is that last Monday, if it's okay to move on, Rick and Vince, is that okay?
Yes, please.
I think so, yes. Let's do that.
Okay, thank you. Yesterday, in our meeting to construct the letter, I just walked out on the terrace and I just went back to Mr. Keshe and I said, Mehran, I need a minute of your time because something is happening outside. When he came outside, the speaker was open. He says, but these are flight systems. These are real. I said, but there's so many of them. And I mean, they were absolutely amazing. One after another for nearly half an hour. One UFO after the other, just passing first the little ones. I tried to manage to get some pictures, but they're very blurry because they were transparent. So I could only, or we could only see the outer lining when they were touching the cloud or when a cloud was passing in a way. I could see the contours of the plane or the ship. And it was so beautiful because there were so many of them, just one after another, unbelievable. Until at the last minute, we just saw one huge one. And first we were not sure because maybe they were playing with lights somewhere, but it was behind the clouds. It was not before the clouds. So we had 100% confirmation that they made sure we knew they were there. Now I will also explain the reason why. I requested as a wish, and I explained the wish as well in the Universal Council. I said, we cannot only focus on humanity and on the human souls. I said, this is a planet which has so many other souls present on our planet. It's not because we can't detect them or we can't see them that they are not existing, as Mr. Keshe has explained so many times. And if you remember in the teachings, he even explained how to make them the glasses to be able to see them. And people have even started making those glasses. And then we moved, as usual, to other topics in our teachings, so we never stand still. But I made the council aware. I said, I give them an example because you're all aware of it. If you remember in Rome, the last meeting in Rome, the Universal Council meeting, I granted the wish from the elementals to reconnect with humanity because it was a request. But I guided the wish with one direction, that they only could support the children which are abandoned and which are suffering and which are in pain. And that was my guideline. In the meeting, Ryu came and said, be careful with that group of people or beings because they work in a different way and they like to be paid for what they give. I said, I'm very glad you brought it forward because it has to be explained to people that they are aware of it. I said, I didn't advise you to go and connect with them. I just used it as an example. Because if you'd only give them the room of freedom and guide them, that's the only freedom they receive through the wish, not the total freedom, so they can't abuse it. Then I start explaining more. I said, because then Armin came on and he said, I don't understand. You're going to have to guide me. Please, can you explain more? I said, yeah. I said, they are observing us. They do not interfere in our life, but they are present. They're present in big amount, huge amount, and their awareness is growing. We are becoming more and more aware of them. They're coming closer because our fields are changing, our intentions are changing. So soon they will be visible and we will start having real interaction. It doesn't matter from where they are, from what origin, what shape, what color, what density, what transparency they have. It should be no different. It should make no difference, at least not to us. I said, but they have been observing and living next to us as our neighbors. I said, if we don't wish and open the doors to invite them to support our wish for peace and our struggle, as they have been witnessing through God knows the same or before the amount of time they have arrived here on this planet, it's not our property. I said, if we don't open the doors and we wish for them to come to support the peace process, I said, how are we going to open the doors to receive their support? I said, we are inviting them with the love and care for humanity, and it can definitely use all the help it can to get through this process. So I noticed that Jamila and Michelle have started writing the letter. I read the letter and I said it cannot go into public yet, please, because there are words that needs to be adjusted and changed. But they're little words. So maybe after today's teaching, I will sit down with the Universal Council members to work this letter out and also send it out as a wish, because I believe that we cannot request for enough help to get us through this process. And we always been dreaming that we have to send, radio waves or signals or prayers or whatever out to connect with them. But I think it will come through our fields of wishing for peace, and that our transparency to achieve it is there. And I connected straight away, like a gift I received was, you have opened the doors because the council has made the first steps to open the doors towards them. And that's most probably why they were in such a high number present yesterday when we were working through this peace letter. And it brought that memory back of that wish, which I expressed to the council last Monday. And while we are all very intensive, we're working for so many hours to get this letter complete, they were present. So I can maybe most probably bring you the good news that it's been confirmed that they will be there to support us. Because I find that was one of the questions Armin was asking. And he said, Caroline, but we need to have, you know, a kind of a signal or a sign or a confirmation. I think last night was more than a confirmation. I only have two pictures which you can see a shadow, but because the condition they were coming was only so visible to the eye, but we have at least 4 people who have witnessed them. So it was not only me and Mr. Keshe, there were 2 other people who witnessed the same process for the same amount of time. And if Vince wants, he can do a screen share. You know, the one where you made the circle around it, Vince? I think that one is the most clearest one that you can see the halo. That was one of the small ships. So we will present you the letter we have when it's finished, when we requested for all beings in the totality on this planet to join us in our peace process. And you cannot imagine the joy and the surprise I received last night when I realized that this was the sign at that time that we were all working together, because each one of you have been wishing for this, and we will get there. I'm shedding tears, but it's of joy, not of pain. We came a long way, every one of us. And it will be a beautiful process. So please, maybe it's correct to go and release it in the second part. And if Jamal and Moshfaq and the other team members of the council tonight maybe can work on the letter, then maybe tomorrow in the teaching we can present it as our wish to unite whoever is with us, among us on this planet, enjoying this beautiful being which we call Earth. And the presence yesterday was absolutely amazing. And if you can do a screen share, Vince, it would be nice. I know when you listen to the video, you only hear our voices, but I couldn't get them on the camera. It was too blurry because they were transparent when the clouds were gone. And the minute the clouds were touching or passing, they appeared. And this was so strange. And it will be very nice to share with all of you that we received an answer. And I'm glad I can share this with you because it's absolutely beautiful. As Mr. Keshe is always explaining, we need to think, talk, work, love, and care in the totality. We are not the only ones. We are not. And if people have more questions, as I received the questions in the council, I have no problems to explain more. But I know that the sensitive people and the sensitive souls have seen more and more signs that they show their presence, that they're ready to connect with us. And I think they will open their doors very slowly, in confidence, once we reach our level that we need to achieve. They will be there. And they have a lot of gifts for humanity. I think it will be unification of something that was maybe not even thinkable of to be achieved. We still need to get through our hurdles, but we're working day and night on it, all of you. When I say we're working, it means all of us, not just a few. And I thank you and all the teams, you're beautiful souls. I cannot say thank you enough. It's not easy, but we're getting there. Thank you. This is one of the small ones. Beautiful. Anybody, any questions?
Hello, Caroline. Here is Thomas from Switzerland. Actually, I don't have a question. I have tears in my eyes too when I was listening to your description. Actually, I have seen the same that you have. It was very close to me. There were many, and I can totally confirm that in the contact, our group, we were a group of 12 people around, and we all felt very blessed, and it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. And I can confirm that they're watching us a longer time, because my being here with Keshe Foundation actually has the origin in that sighting, because I have received a request, to be here with you, beautiful people. Thank you so much for sharing this, Caroline. This is a very old wish I had stated in it was September 15, and now that it is coming to surface amongst you beautiful people, I don't have any words for this. It's too beautiful. Thank you very much for sharing, Caroline.
You're welcome, because it was beautiful. The amazing thing was that there were so many, half an hour, can you imagine, non-stop, one after another, and so close. It just didn't stop. They were making sure they were noticed, they were making sure to express. It was amazing. I have 3 or 4 videos, but unfortunately they don't even appear because I had to take them with my iPhone. And as I said, you can see the clouds, and they just reflect only in the clouds when the cloud was passing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, when I had the sighting with my friends, there was one girl at the beginning of the sighting who jumped up and said, "No one take photos or videos." And then, we all respected that guideline. And our sighting was between 2 and 3 hours long. Not so many. There was only one, and sometimes there were 2. And towards the end of the sighting, there were about 15 in one line, which were doing moves like the snake in the Sahara over the hot sand. It was a waving movement of about 15, between 12 and 15 of those. You have seen more, definitely. But yeah, I'd just like to add that at one point I realized that we can relatively easily connect our thoughts with those beings. And when I did that, the amount of love and pure loving intention I have received from there, it was astonishing quality. And it set the quality standard for my being here too.
It was amazing. You can count every 2 seconds one was passing, half an hour non-stop.
Wow, it's so beautiful.
Because first I was confused because I thought maybe children are playing with those flashlights, but you didn't see no shine before the clouds. It was all happening behind the clouds. So it was a confirmation this was real. And it just brought the memory back of my wish, which only happened last Monday. With the explanation, I said, we have to increase our forces because we cannot be, the favorite and the only one which will look after this planet. It's impossible. We have to include all, and not only even the animals, and which are already outnumbering us, let alone whoever their presence is here. And I will bring this back to the next Wednesday evening meeting with the council and explain the sequence of if they have missed this teaching, because it's not only an accepting, it's also an understanding, and it's not because you can't witness it. They're showing themselves in groups all over this planet, and people more and more are bringing footage of pictures and videos. They are showing they are present. My wish was very clear to the council. When we did this final letter, which now it's going to go this afternoon, they connected the answer and the confirmation we are present. As we confirm when somebody makes a wish, I am present, means I support your wish. Thank you for sharing your knowledge about this.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else questions or experience they want to share?
Have another panelist coming in.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, it's Pia from Denmark. Thank you very much, Caroline, for sharing this experience. I just want to ask, I have some new pictures, you have seen them. It's about the sky formations I have been experiencing the last years. Actually, Rick, I sent it some to you. Do you have them? You think you can find them in the mail, or maybe we could show them?
Okay, I'll try to find them, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a few maybe, but I also
a lot of people have started sharing these images, and all the motions, funny enough, have captured the same image. Do you remember when we brought it from when we were on the coast in Italy? It was in broad daylight and it sat on top of us for 2-3 hours non-stop. We posted those pictures where you visit, you can literally see the circle, but also hidden in the cloud deck. You would think it's a sun, but it's not. and Mr. Keshe brought it also into public. The funny thing is that each one of the motions have been able to record the same thing happening as happened to us on the beach. And this is why I'm sharing this now, because I could make straight away the connection. So if you have the experience, please come and share with us, because very soon we will meet them. We will sit on the table in a matter of speaking. We will communicate with them. They will share knowledge with us. They will bring us and support us to a higher level as much as we will be able to share our knowledge with them. They have been present. It's just, it's time to meet.
This is Christopher Lozelle from West Virginia. Can you hear me?
Yes. Good afternoon.
Wonderful. Good afternoon, everyone. I just wanted to share an experience that I had. Yes, I can.
Hello.
Yeah, I just wanted to share an experience that I had a few months ago. I was at the top of a mountain here in West Virginia, and it was at night, and I was laying down to sleep, and I had a visitation by an entity that had came into my sleeping space and communicated with me, and the level at which it communicated was not necessarily words, but I interpreted it as such when I understood it, but it almost communicated with me on an emotional level, and it was right around the time that I had aligned myself with the Keshe Foundation in moving forward with what we're doing, and I had a reassurance that not only are we being guided and protected, but that we are doing the right thing and moving forward in the right direction, and that they are here and they're with us and they protect us and watch us and guide us, and they really love and appreciate what we're doing. And it's very important that we remember that they are here with us and that we include them. And I just wanted to share that experience. Thank you so much.
Hi, Caroline. This is Libby. I can confirm what Christopher just said. I'm in Nova Scotia, and on June 27th, I had done a mind map on freedom. Just what did that elicit? And then when I looked up in the sky, I was able to record some beautiful, quote unquote, what I call clouds, space people playing in the clouds. I do have that. And then that evening, just before sunset, I too got to experience the picture of a spaceship in front of the sky with the ring around it. I'd be glad to share that if you'd like to see it. But I'm sure there are many of us now that have been recording this. It's very exciting, and I agree. And we are getting confirmation in the skies on a regular basis. If we just look up and start sending out love, they will appear. It's pretty amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that, Caroline. Do you want me to show mine, or?
Sure, you can go ahead.
Okay.
Caroline's dropped out for a moment.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Can you guys see that okay? I'll start playing it if you can. I turned the sound off because it was a windy day, and it's a 7-minute video, so I'll only play around here. If you'll look, you'll start to see color in here. See its color appearing up in here, and then it goes over here. I was sending so much love, and as I was sending love, it was just an amazing day. That was June 27th. But I've been recording spacecraft, what I call spacecraft, for a long, long time. I've had a lot of interactions with the space people. I call them the ancestors, and I agree, they are here. They're so glad we're doing what we're doing. Now, interesting, in my mind map on freedom, I was talking about wings and flying and the Unicos. They were just words I was putting out to express our unity with everything that is. And so these clouds started to switch and show me wings, and very soon you'll be able to see a bird's beak appearing here. They're very playful. Anyways, it is a long video. There's the bird's head coming out. But if you like, I can show you the picture that's very similar to Mr. Keshe's May experience in 2015. I did show it in a private class, but I'm happy to show it in a public class if you like. I can see that there's the beautiful bird. I was just so excited to see that. It's like, yeah, we're flying. Anyways, I will go get the other one if you like the picture, because I can see my video's not working too well here.
Thank you for sharing. I'm sorry, I'm most probably going to get kicked out every 30 minutes or
No
so.
problem. Caroline, I have that picture that I showed. I think it was in your private class. And it's of the sun being covered by a spaceship. Would you like me to share that?
Yes, you can. Why not?
Okay.
This is mine, if you remember. Can you see it?
Yes, we can.
This is the one we recorded. We even have a video of it. But it's no longer on my camera. I only have kept the pictures. It's been moved to my computer files. But this is absolutely amazing. This was the one of the biggest one, and the first one, which was right on top of us. And that's what I noticed yesterday. The same you see in the outer boundaries. You see like the rainbow colors appearing. And this was happening also on the edge of the cloud of the ship. you could see the rainbow colors. The only thing which I got the confirmation from the other person, because Mr. Keshe couldn't see it, was that the big one was beaming rays out. I could see the beams coming down in all direction, so circular, up, left, right, down. I said, these are huge rays, Mehran. He says, I cannot, because I said, you can't look straight into them. You have to slightly look off, you know, like you focus a little bit on the side and you see it appearing in the right of your eye. You could see the beams, just huge beams. It was absolutely amazing, but only from the big one. The little ones were showing the same discoloration of yellowish, bluish, greenish. Every time they were passing a cloud, you could see the light, the colors appearing. But from the big one, I was visually seeing the rays, huge, like violet. If I can connect the color to it, that's how I recognized them, but not when I was looking straight forward at them. I had to look, you know, like off my eyes on the left, and then they were appearing on the right side of my eye. And I could really place them, because I was telling her, I said, Nehi, you don't see the rays? He says, no, I cannot. I said, you have to keep your focus off. This is beautiful. If you can share yours, you're quite welcome.
May I ask a question?
Of course you can.
Yes. On the photo you showed, the photo before this one, there was a little blue point under the sun, a little bit on the right side. Do someone knows who it is? Because I have a picture of the sun I took on vacation, and I have also that blue point on the photo.
I have some with those points in them too. This one doesn't have it, but I'll go get one. I agree. And what was interesting, something happens to that. I've got a setup. I just didn't have it loaded, but I agree, Pim, that there is something there, either scout ships as part of it, is my understanding. I might be wrong, or just other teams, shall we say, supporting the big team. I'm not sure, because it's still new knowledge. But what do you say about that, Caroline? Do you remember? Do you want me to stop my share so you can throw yours back up? Or should I find the ones that... Okay.
No, fine. I'll find mine. Because I have 3 still in my file. So I got there, I got it there, and I got it there. I think somebody just typed in the text that might be the reflection of the lens. But I don't know. Because at the time you're taking these pictures and you're videoing it, you're not aware of this. So this is number 3. And if you see, it is amazing how it's steady. And it was bigger than the picture showing. It was an enormous diameter. It was huge. With the camera, it looks, you know, like a CD disc, but it was much bigger than that. And I'm so sorry. Maybe I can go but I don't know if I can share videos here. I can go and search if I can find it, but maybe this might be the point of the lens reflecting something, because I was moving my camera in different positions to try to get it fully on my screen. But apparently,
if you notice, the big circle doesn't move, but the little circle does as the sun moves. So I would say that would be lens flare.
What type of camera you've been using, Caroline? Is it iPhone camera?
This is from my iPhone.
Oh, okay. So it could be a lens flare, yeah.
I have somewhere in my files, but I need a few days to dig it out. because I have so much storage of videos and pictures. I have taken at the same time, equally with my phone, we had the CAT cam with us. So I have this also on my camera.
So how is it looking by naked eyes? If it looked same by naked eyes, it is not lens flare.
You see on this picture, you see on this one I'm showing now, you see there is another boundary in the corner. I cannot show it with my fingers. I don't pen to show. But there is another, you see here, you can't see it, just on the corner, on the top on the right. And on this one, you see a little vague on the top again. But if I go back to the first one, you see another phenomenon. You see there is another boundary line. Because it's so huge, I could not take the full spectrum. So we did not only see this big disk with the sun like in the middle, but we had another discoloring on the right side, which I only captured the small part of it. Most probably, if I dig up the footage from the camera, because my camera was more flexible in moving, most probably will have a better view on the totality of it. I will try to find it for you. If I find it, I will bring it back to your attention in the teaching. But it's, I can search for it.
Thank you for showing this, both Libby and Caroline. I saw this in Standing Rock in North Dakota, actually over the winter. And then sometime early into this year, one of the students actually showed the little blue orb, though, however, without any bright light or sun behind it. So it indicated that it wouldn't be so much of a flare. Soraya actually showed those at the beginning of the session.
Yeah, they're coming in different, the way people can take them. It's if you're lucky to have your camera beside you, most probably the pictures would have been much clearer. I do not know, Vince, have you gone through the videos which I sent you? You can see anything, or is it just black?
Yeah, those are black. Can't see anything.
You can only hear us talking. Yeah, it happens. I'm already glad I have two blurred pictures. And it was the light you see at the bottom was the light in the distance from a tower. So I had not full darkness around me.
Hello.
Yes.
I was just sharing the picture because Ricky asked me to find it. Can you see the picture?
Yes, it's beautiful.
Yeah, you have seen it before.
The funny thing is you have the full shape. With what we experienced, they were transparent. It was only because of the clouds which were moving in mass so fast. Every time the cloud was within the range of them, you could see them. Because between the lights, there was just nothing there. It was transparent. They work with the magnetical field, which Mr. Keshe says, they just appear as a light. And the light appeared when something physically passed them. That's when we could see the outer boundaries, that we could see their shape and the size. And through the rainbow colors, which appeared also in the clouds on the left and on the right. But in the middle, there was just nothing, which was very strange. But this one is beautiful.
Yes, it seems like they are showing through the skies that they are there. I feel that very strong because I've never seen skies like this before in my life. Never. And I've seen really strange figures or formations, or what you could call it. I can send you one, few more.
Yeah, feel free to share. It's not the point that they are an attraction or we are not on a fancy farm. It's just to bring the awareness among people. They start communicating through the way they think is safe for us as for them. Because for a lot of people, it will create panic in a way because of them being kept in the darkness. So with going through this peace process, the governments have already started confirming, they have already started giving speeches and explanations that they have contact. But now to bring this in full awareness, very slowly, in an acceptable way, that people don't get spooked, they don't start harming, or they don't create situations that we create another war between them and us. And this is the reason also why I brought my wish back to here, to public, to confirm that the wish has been granted. It was wished, and it was supposed to go out in a letter, but the wish has speeded up. It had appeared before the letter is received or being completed. We will work on it, that you can have an idea to join us in the wish to bring more awareness and the openness, that we can enjoy each other's company, but in tranquility, not in chaos and not in fear. And I'm so glad you can share what you have witnessed. And these are all things which should not be taboo. And if Vince or Rick, maybe I still have it on my phone, but I'm not sure. I can go and try to find it. The glasses, which the first glasses of Gans which were made, I don't even remember who made them. Maybe Rick will know, or Vince, or Stanley, or somebody else from the Knowledge Seekers. I'll see if they're still in my files.
Well, that's a good point, is that it brings us back to the technology that we're trying to learn, because we as a people tend to fear things we don't understand. And by introducing the Keshe technology to people, then they will not get so fearful regarding other beings and there being ways to travel other than what we can understand. When we can learn the technology, understand what is happening behind that, then humanity in itself won't be so fearful. And at that point, then I think that we could possibly say hello.
I want to share a dream I had. So 5 years ago, I have put a wish out that I want to be the facilitator between them and the skies and the humanity, because as a child I always knew that there was more and that they were there, even if I didn't see them at that time, or I don't remember. So a few weeks ago, three weeks ago, I had a dream. I repeat sometimes that wish, that I want to help them and to help humanity, that it may be a peaceful contact, and that I am ready. I always say my red carpet is on for you. You may come and you are welcome, and I will be there if I can do something. And the dream was, sometimes I ask, please beam me up, you know. And they beamed me up, and I was very aware in the dream. I was beamed up, and it was a place, a shuttle, and there were 3 stages, and I began in a sort of lift on the 3rd stage, and there was a woman on a desk, and there happened some things, but I don't knew very well what was happening. Then we go further to the 2nd stage, and that was the same, another lady, and there was one lady on my left side behind, who was very loving. So she gave me a lot of confidence to be at peace in the situation. And I remember I was very happy. So finally, oh, I can come in. Thank you for that. And so I gone to the 3rd stage with the lift, and there was the same process. So I don't know the processes, if they prepared me for something, I don't know. But if I wake up, and before I was very aware how I came in. It was like I flew in the sky to the shuttle. So I moved softly. It was like I was an angel who fly very softly in the sky, and at the same time I was aware I was in. So there was no pass through walls, or I was not aware of that. It was a very, very happy and soft process. So for me, it was like the shuttles you see. It was a confirmation of we heard what you asked, and so we let you in. And if the time is there, we will work together. So I want to share that with you. And I want to share a second experience. We in the Universal Council, I'm not in the council yet, but I'm there to support them in the background, and we focus on some leaders in the world, and we give them love, and we give them peace from the heart, from the soul. So I do that twice a day, and at one moment it was so clear. It was like all the councils together, and the knowledge seekers, and Mr. Keshe and Carolina and the core. We were like in a spaceship, and we had a vast place therein. So I know my place where I was in. I see where the first was the Mr. Keshe in the side. He was the strongest, of course. Then there was the Earth Council, and around there was the Universal Council. And if you take a cross on the circle, on the lines of the cross, there was the core members on several layers around in the circles. So, and around there's the place to all the people who want to come in, who listen to this, who are at home, who meditate, who want peace in the heart. They come all in, and they take their position in. And I believe that near the sending the letter, it's those things we do that now we see that it works. We are in a constellation, I can say. Maybe it's better than a spaceship, who take place and who want so hard the peace in the heart and in the soul to elevate, to even be able to love all people who do bad things, because that is not the simplest to do. But if we are in the heart and we give that love, and we think about our children, and we take that love and we put it around them, so we can elevate them in the love. I think now we begin to see the results, because I do that for years. I do that my whole life. I was in the 20s if I began to do that, and a lot of people of you do the same all those years. And we see always the bad things in the world, but now we see there is a new plasma constellation who lift up the old, and all the people who once dreamed about peace, they are in, they come in, and they have the effect, the plasma effect. We know if I want that, they affect the others, and I moved everyone. So it's just, I want to talk to you about that, because we must straighten each other and focus not on what happened and what we see yet, but focus on that plasma who becomes so strong that, so as Mr. Keshe talked, we can succeed. Thank you.
I'm just going to tell.
Thank you, Pim.
For a moment on the power of our intention moving forward. I believe that this is very, very important.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me? I'd like to say that I believe it's very, very important.
Yes, we can hear you.
It's very, very important for us to crystallize our visualization of world peace moving forward. And it's vitally important that we use and engage as many senses as we can and live as if this has already happened. And I believe that the best way for all of us to do that is to very simply take out a piece of paper or type it on your computer and write down a visualization statement that just describes a day in your life personally in living in a world of peace, and what it feels like, what it smells like, what it tastes like, what it looks like, and really put some thought and intention into that, in what you desire and what we all want to have accomplished through getting this peace treaty signed and getting everyone to agree on this, and what it's going to be like. And it's important for us to crystallize that visualization, and then moving forward to remind ourselves of that visualization daily, each day, or even multiple times a day, so that we can solidify that intention in our minds and in our souls, and that we can align ourselves and constellate towards moving towards peace, so that we can accomplish this. So again, visualizing that as if we've already accomplished that, writing that down, and then speaking that out loud, reading that letter to yourself and saying it out loud, and visualizing yourself living in the moment of peace and love and prosperity. Thank you.
Hello, this is Maria from Norway. Can I say something?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. This is a comment on the letters. We know that there are all these beings around us, and so there is much more beings on Earth than we can see. So they should be included in the letter. It's probably been said already, but a wish from all the living beings on Earth for peace, and on the end of the letter, that the letter is on behalf of all the councils and the core team. And then we sign with our own energy. Anyway, that's my... And we were, Mr. Keshe also said that we should send it to all the ambassadors. So maybe so it's kind of overflow. We're flowing the world with these letters of peace. Okay. Thank you.
I think that's a great idea. Thank you, Maria.
Thank you.
As you can. Somebody sharing something?
No, it's
it
free
looks
now.
like Pia is trying to share something. It's not coming through. Yeah.
Yeah, but I will wait until you're finished. I'll not disturb what you're saying.
Okay, you want to
Yeah,
go
yeah,
ahead?
you can share. Don't worry.
Okay.
I just get kicked out, so I lose the thread of the conversation. Is Pia going ahead or me?
Okay, I just shared this picture. It's also like a special sky. I don't know what you think it looks like, but I just have not seen anything like this. Okay, but better move on with what you're talking about, Caroline.
Okay, thank you, Pia.
Ah,
Go ahead, Carol.
just 1 second. I have to go and pick them up again because I brought them forward for a very special reason. And to connect with what Vince was bringing forward, just give me a second because I'll have to go back and pick them up again. Just give me a second, please.
Are you tapping on your phone or something there?
Yes, darling.
Okay.
Okay, there they are. You can see them. You all remember this? This is one of them. They're not very clear because they have been taken from the screenshots from the teaching. I'm going to bring all of you knowledge seekers back to this teaching. Maybe somebody remembers in which teaching, Mr. Keshe, that was the first teaching after Fabio's death. So it's 1 year ago. That must be on the accident happened on the 7th of July. So it must be 2 or 3 days later. Mr. Keshe brought this in the teaching because we're going to have to go back and learn the language of the soul, as he explained, and Heather has put the explanation of the universal language. And he opens his hands and he says, I have nothing to hide. I am a giver. And then you go to the other one. It's difficult for me to read them so close. In space, most of the physical, if somebody else can read it for me, please, because the text for me is blurred to read.
Okay, I can
Maybe
read it.
Rick, you can do the honor, please.
Sure. The hand signs, the universal language, it is a direct language. In space, most of the physical entities that you see have this presentation. It says, I am prepared to negotiate. I am prepared to give, and I am strong enough in my soul that I can give. I am a giver. I have nothing to hide. Okay, so what about that? Is there comments on that?
Yes, this is
Okay,
from
I'm gonna go to the
122nd Knowledge Seekers Workshop. Anna, from July 20th, 2016.
It says, I have equal balance. I want to possess everything equally, the soul and emotion and physicality. And it's explained the pinky and the index finger. This one, I don't have the text from it. And this is another one. Now I can read it. Okay. The first facing away from me, it means I want to keep. I don't have much to give. You see the fist, the way it's indicated? But I just wanted to bring your attention that people's gonna have to start going back to this teaching. And this is another one. Soul is towards yourself. I'm prepared to communicate with you, with my physicality and my emotion, but my soul is mine. So he has given you directions already in the teachings for when the time appears that even though we are in our physicality, we will have to learn the universal language. And maybe in the next few days, I can ask Mr. Keshe to go more into detail and depth to show more how to communicate on soul level or through our physicality or in combination or with our emotion, and to give maybe a good explanation and a more depth into this knowledge, because we have opened the doors. Now we're going to have to learn how to communicate, create a visual appearance, but they read us faster than we can read them because they are in a different level. So we're going to have to learn through our emotion, our physicality, and our wish, and our expression through our soul, through what we already received in bits from Mr. Keshe, to start combining the knowledge, to be able to start working, that we can create a real communication with them, that there are no misunderstandings. And this is all in the light that this show, they are present. People have videos, have pictures, there are tapes which people are talking like us, it's just a recording how we are experiencing it. The confirmation after the wish, which has been visibly, not only for me and Mr. Keshe, but we have two more witnesses on that ground. Armin couldn't see them because they were on the back of the building instead of front of the building. So he had no view on what we saw. He was too far away. Into the previous teachings, what Mr. Keshe has explained about communication is one level. To be in control of our emotions is number two. How are we going to express our true intent? That there is not something else hidden, as we say, in the closet. That we are comfortable to bring and build up the confidence that it is okay. And maybe through the glasses, if somebody can find those glasses again, it will be very nice to go to the other topic on this, to go more in depth, how we can create also the visualization, not only through the feeling from the senses, but that we can visually or achieve, or through the path of the soul or the emotion, how we physically can also see them, that we can understand, because to us it's a physical, it's a matter world. They can appear in non-physical but also physical. So we're going to have to learn those paths of knowledge, and we're going to have to request Mr. Keshe to support us in this, because the doors have and are opening up more and more. So if people can go back to drawings from that maybe in the next session or tomorrow, it would be nice, because this specific teaching after the death of Fabio, Mr. Keshe opened a lot in that. And if people can bring whatever they remember and the way they see the path or understood, and bring these images, how he physically shows how to communicate, it will support a lot of people to start getting ready for it. And I will try to add this also to bring it forward in the Universal Council meeting, or if some... Excuse me?
We'll have to get the pictures clarified.
Hello.
Because hello, can you hear? Can you hear me, Caroline? Hello. Hello, Caroline, can you hear? Apparently not. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say we'll have to get these images clarified.
Yeah, I can hear you.
We'll have to get the images clarified, because there's a big controversy over some of these hand signals. Some people say they're from the Illuminati and from the devil. And
no problem.
Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
I think she's just losing signal a little bit, Rick.
Okay. I'm just saying we have to get this clarified now that these pictures came up, because we will
exactly.
We will for sure be hit by trolls and naysayers, and all kinds of controversy will come out of this. So it'll have to be clarified now that these pictures have come up, because it'll be in all of the media basically now, because these same hand signals are, some people, they say they're from the Illuminati or from the devil or from things like that. So it'll all have to be clarified now, so that we make sure that people in the media in Africa and so on are understand what this is about. That is a universal hand signal. It's not private for the Illuminati and that kind of thing.
That's why Mr. Keshe brought them in that topic straight away after Fabio's death. He made sure, and I'm thankful to Heather that she put the text next to the hand signals. It explains each gesture and each sign for what the meaning is standing for. And I will be happy if Mr. Keshe in the next teachings comes up to maybe go and take new screenshots from the presentation, that they are more clear, and maybe just add in each one he's showing his own wording with it, and maybe with a subtitle. So they're going to have to be extracted somewhere. And then Mr. Keshe can do a full, more extensive explanation, because these are not the only, this is only a part of the language we need to learn. There's more. You can hear me?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that any confusion is cleared out of the way. That's why I brought those pictures forward, because they carried them a little bit more accurate. These are quite blurry because they've been taken from a screen as it was happening. also the topic with the glasses to make it.
Yes, Caroline, I believe I
easier.
found those glasses. I posted them in a couple of the private chats. These were the glasses Mr. Keshe explained, and it was only one of what I do recall him saying is 3 layers, and this was a CO2 thin layer in these glasses. Somebody can find those and post it. It is in the student private chat. I do not recall who it was Mr. Keshe brought onto the Knowledge Seekers workshop, or somebody did, and explained these. And I do believe, again, it was just one of the 3 layers Mr. Keshe said that we would need in order to see the other beings, per se, and this was a CO2 layer.
Yes, these are the glasses. Thank you. The one who made them, if he is in the teachings present, or if he's listening to this recording later on because maybe he cannot be present, it would be nice. I invite you to come forward because you made them and you came with the explanation. It would be very nice for you to come and explain it again, because these will all be the tools that we can and have in our possession to make the path easier, just available. And maybe Mr. Keshe can even go deeper and more extent in what to expect when you use the glasses. Or maybe people have already done and experienced and kept it to themselves. But I think it's time for us to share openly and not keep it hidden, and to share it freely, because it will bring more doors to open up that we can expand on the knowledge and support the people to take and remove the fears. I know that you can achieve it in a different way. And it has been posted and been circulating. I don't know how many knowledge seekers have picked it up in the past. But you can train yourself to remove the veils, what is not real. And if it is your wish, who is from this different level, they are as shocked as you are, because you can see the surprise in their face. You all know Topoli, or little white Malteser. He has an extra sense, as we call it. He spots them from 30, 50 meters away from me. So I already have a bodyguard before they come near me. He already picks it up. And he warns me. And I have to start really listening very intent to him when he gives me the signals. He's very something he has to tell me. But if he really goes frantic, so I make sure I don't give them yet the signal that I know. I just stay within my own fields. But soon, I think we will be able to openly share and communicate in more freedom. And I think a lot of people already are carrying this sense to know when there are non-humans around you, and they're everywhere. They just carry the cover of being a human, but their energy and they're different. But that doesn't mean that we have to start despising them. That doesn't mean we have to start treating them different. They're as welcome and they're as beautiful as we are, all of us. So when you start exercising with this, prepare yourself to see something so beautiful and that it is possible. And leave your fear beside you, because they have never harmed and they will never harm. Not in the sense that the media and the movies and the imprints have been given and passed on to be scared. No. Leave the fear and walk with your head up high, that at least you can achieve it. That you can make the connection. Learn the language through the knowledge, through the explanation. And we're definitely going to ask Mr. Keshe more questions about this for sure. And if people can share experience, you're quite welcome. Come on board. We're all getting ready on the same path.
Yeah, hello, here's Thomas again. Maybe I can share a bit more about the experience when I had the contact. If you encounter such a beautiful being, then it might be wise just to try ask yes or no questions. That was working extremely well in my case. And the responses I have got there, I think that they were on the soul level and the emotional level at the same time. And it was very easy when it happens. So don't be afraid. You have to practice too much to be able to communicate. These beings, they exactly know on which levels we are able to communicate, and they send on all these frequencies. And yeah, it was actually it was working so well that I got really excited about all the answers I've got. And one of the most important answers I have been receiving was that it is already, how can I say, a done deal, that it will come to this point where all the people on this planet will know for sure that they are around us and they're here to help, and they're of a very, very loving kind. And yeah, as I stated, communication might be easier as you think at the moment. Thank you so much.
Anybody else? You're correct, Thomas. The communication is not difficult because they are more sensitive than us. They work in a different level of energy. That's why Mr. Keshe keeps on repeating to be very clear in controlling your emotions, your wishes, your intent, because they can read it before they even approach you. And the first and biggest problem man will have to put aside is the fear. That's all. Because it's completely new.
Okay,
but at the same time, yes.
Go ahead. Go ahead, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Well, I was going to suggest it would be good to discuss or explain the connection between the signing of the peace treaty, the World Peace Treaty by the world leaders, and what we're talking about now. Just make a connection there. so that people understand, what is the end goal is, besides world peace. There's this connection with the other species and other beings from other parts of the universe, which is part of it, not just the signing of the peace treaty, apparently. So we need to clarify that. Could we discuss that a bit? Because most of this discussion today has gotten off into spaceships and alien communications and whatnot, and we've kind of gotten off track of why we're signing the peace treaty and so on.
I think it's going to go hand in hand, Rick.
I would add that it's part of disclosure. I mean, part of the reason this world is so messed up is that our history has not been properly told, and our connection to the extraterrestrials or ancestors, like I like to say, has never really been accepted by mainstream media. And so along with peace on this planet would naturally come disclosure, because the more we realize we are connected to everything in the universe, the more people may realize every thought they hold is revealed in the sky. And when we recognize that every thought we have is revealed in the sky, we work harder at making sure the thoughts that we have are peaceful and loving and kind. So I believe, from my perspective, it goes hand in hand. If we're asking for peace, we must be peaceful ourselves. And when you do understand that every thought you hold is written upon the sky, it really helps you act in a correct manner against what we have been taught. We've been taught that anger and greed and envy are all natural emotions, but they're not. That's not what the human being originally was. So I think it's very closely tied and connected to the peace that the world leaders recognize humanity's waking up, and we're aware now of a lot more than we weren't aware of before. More of us are aware. But that's just my perspective.
Maybe we can formulate a collective wish so that they will show themselves right after the peace treaty has been signed.
That's a great idea.
Well, this is something we have to sort of decide, is do we want all of this connectedness to be part of the Earth Council and Universal Council, the guidelines that they're under? What do we want to show to the media? What do we want to show to the world? Is this the main aspect? Maybe it is.
I think I already explained that the letter with the wish will be published from the council. So let's first go through the process of them signing, and then when that is signed and we pass that barrier, then we can start and in a gentle way start requesting for them to go transparent. But it's going to have to go in steps, because not everybody is knowledge seeker, not everybody is having this privilege to be connected to the foundation, to get to this open field of sharing. There are a lot of people which are not aware of it. So I think it's going to be a transition process. But the main thing is that it has been wished and it's been granted. So it will unfold. But I think they will be more in charge than us, as we requested for their support for peace.
Yeah, I was thinking about including my citing in the letter I've written for the Swiss government, and some intuition told me not to include it because these affairs are normally kept away from state leaders, because state leaders they change every 4 years or now and then, and these communications with the other people, this one is much longer present than one period of a president. So deeper in these structures, they already know it. It's just a question, how can I say, yeah, how we get this piece right in a way that also the secret structures can give up their veil, because they know since a long time.
As we say, when the time is right, they will start supporting the governments that it's okay. I think you're correct not to add it or connect it. Let us first make that platform ready, because we have a lot of more in our pockets to go on the peace path. But as PIM confirmed, and there are more people which have received the confirmation personally, that it is already a done deal. Nobody will obstruct the peace on this planet. Nobody will prevent it. Nobody will be able to stop it. It's just we are evolving in the right steps. And Mr. Keshe is guiding us to reach those steps in the right way, in the right sequence. The only thing is that we need to shake and we need to wake up more people. That's why I was asking to let the letter to go public. We do our job, but let people take the responsibility on their shoulders too, that they can do it, that this is their wish because that's their intent, because this will show the path in truth. And the more they can share it, and the more they can go open with it, and send it to radio stations, send it to wherever you have your connections. Make sure people are aware that this process is growing. And as Mr. Keshe said, don't let it cool down. Do not let the attention to go away, because we need to step up every time, every meeting we have, every public teaching. It's stepping up to more. With what? The intent, that our intent is correct, that is what we want. No sidetracking, just one goal, continuously directing the direction where we want all to go. And not to walk away, and you're correct, Rick. But on the other hand, in so many ways, this peace process is as important for them as it's for us, because they've been watching us on the sidelines. We need to be 100% aware that they are there and that they never interfered. Out of respect, they don't do until we are ready. So our intent has to be pure and clear on the table, as in this letter, which will start going out this afternoon. And then let the knowledge seekers, the public, the media, wherever we can reach, let our intent to work in the direction we are guiding. And thank you for bringing this connection back, Rick. It is important. But everything is important. All the facets of this totality is so important. And if you have more ideas how we can bring it more out into public in different ways, please come and share.
Hello, this is James. Hi, everybody. I'm a bit confused here. We have a letter that's being compiled or put together by the Earth Council, the Universal Council members and so on. Apparently, during the discussion, there was notice that there were a few slight errors in that. Are we going to get a definitive version of that letter? Is it going to be corrected, or is it going to be giving out as it is? That was the first thing that queried.
No, it will definitely be corrected, and I'm hoping that will occur, is occurring now and over the next hour and a half or so, so that we can present it in the afternoon session of today's sessions.
Okay. So the other thing that came through my mind was about the translations. Would it not be possible for the language representatives to get translations done? I mean, they have a command of the language. If they can't do it themselves, maybe they know people that can do it. Or do you want to give that to the transcriber team and the translators that are working already in the background? And if you do that, how are we going to coordinate it? Hello?
Well, if I could just jump in, I guess the idea is to get it done as fast as possible. So any suggestions are obviously open.
I mean, it can be done, but somehow don't we need to coordinate this? I reckon the best ones would be the language representatives, but they aren't available. And if we get the go-ahead, I'm sure we can arrange at least for some of the translations to be done.
Yes, let's get the document together first and provide that, and then we can go ahead with any translations on it. But until we get that document finalized and available for the public, I suggest we come back to it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, now something I'd like to share also, going back maybe into the ET world. Caroline, I would confirm to you, in the Rome, the second meeting, there wasn't just one or two off-planet beings and spaceships flying around. There was whole fleets of them, and they were apparent in Rome in the second conference. And it was a funny event because on that weekend there was also a meeting of the Schengen, the EU representatives were meeting in Rome, and not only was there the Keshe Foundation, the Universal Council meeting and the science meeting, but there were also meetings of different beings within that meeting itself. So, I'll confirm to you that there was a lot going off at that weekend. And my experience, what it was, I arrived a couple of days before you guys, and I was in this hotel not far from the venue. And I went up they had a flat roof. I went up on the flat roof at night time. I was suddenly called to go up there. No, I looked up at the sky and I saw, my God, so many stars. Amazing. I've never seen so many stars. And I was looking up at the stars, and then after a couple of minutes, the majority of them, I mean, we're talking about thousands, maybe tens of thousands, all started moving in unison in one direction. So somehow it was almost like there was a meeting taking place off planet as well in that locality. So that's the experience that I had, and I did share it with people. And within the meeting, there were certain people there. So that's what I'd like to say. And Vince, if you could get back maybe through Flint or Willie or directly with me on when you've got a definitive document, if you want it translating, that would be great. Okay.
Yeah, we'll provide a link so that everybody can get it.
Okay, thanks.
James, may I ask you a question? Hello. James, can you hear me?
Yes, Caroline.
Can you confirm or give more explanation to the wish which was granted, please?
Basically, from what I understand, we've been observed for thousands of years, actually. There are groups around the planet that are working together with extraterrestrial civilizations that have been also helping to change the conditions on planet and off planet. There's been a lot going off around around the Earth atmosphere, and as far as I understand, we're still in containment. I'm talking about you know, the Black Project's one side, but also extraterrestrial civilizations, if you want to call it that. There's also beings from in planet that live in planet, and there are also elementals. I know the guy, the cheeky little guy that you mentioned in Rome, and I know what he saw because I saw the same, and that's why you mentioned it. Yeah. And yes, we will. You remember?
My question was more in the direction, if you have any awareness on on what platform they are supporting this peace process for humanity.
Well, from what I know, some of them are physically reincarnated as humans on this planet. They're walking among us. Some of them are known. And also there's different realms of existence. Some of those ones also physically represented on this planet. They're all working independently, somehow doing their own thing. It's the way I see it. It's like termites. There's a degree of compartmentalization because, you know, this peace on planet Earth has been attempted before and it failed. And so the degree of compartmentalization is basically to avoid that happening. But somehow they were all working on the same project. And the project is liberation of the planet, peace on this planet, and basically reunion with our brothers and sisters in the different realms and in planet and off planet. There was a representative from in planet in Rome in that room. That's what I know. You know, you just have to confront these people directly, and then you can find out. So, as far as I understood, actually, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I misunderstood it, but actually, we've already achieved the goal. It just takes time to let it manifest in the physicality that we experience that in this 3D world, if you want to call it that. And it shouldn't be a surprise that we've been observed for thousands of years, because in other levels of, how can I say that, perception or consciousness, time isn't linear anyway, so maybe for us it's thousands of years, but for off-being planets of a higher consciousness, that can just represent a couple of seconds in their time. That's any question?
I thank you for your contribution to add the knowledge that they are working in the same direction to support this process, and that they are physically, non-physically present to support humanity to achieve this platform. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
it's to confirm to a lot of people that we are not walking off the track of the peace, because it's all intertangled somewhere to bring not only for humanity, but bringing the awareness among humanity that we are not alone, and that we have to go through this process in as much respect for everything that is surrounding us, animals, you name it, the plants, they're all outnumbering us. So we have to be very conscious that this process is not only for us, as I explained before. Once you elevate the souls, as Mr. Keshe has explained in so many teachings, the physicality will go through a change and a transformation as well. And this will be coming so naturally as we are going through. The best example I can give you with this process of peace is that when all of you have had connection and experience with the ganses and the medical systems, how people change. And most of them are not even aware they're going through the change. You just walk them through it. And it's so hard for them to remember how the position was before. And that's why we're keeping or trying to keep track records from the situation they were in before, and then to be able to compare it with themselves after the change, that they can't even grasp how and the condition was before. This is exactly how this peace process will evolve. This is how we will raise. This is how we will change. We will hardly remember, Mr. Keshe keeps on saying it, a soldier will not remember why he's carrying a gun, the purpose and why. He will just walk away, walk off. This is happening already in the healing, in the reversing of the energies through the medical side. You have so many thousands examples and testimonies. If you can understand this walking process of the reverse, now you can understand what this peace process, what we all have ignited by sending the intent, we change the energy, we evaluate, we go higher and higher. The frequencies are changing. People feel the changes. Some get agitated, but it's a process we are all going through. But most of us are feeling this peace that it is about to reveal. And this is the funny part. To try to explain this process, go and read the testimonies. If you can, and you remember you have given some ganses and you've seen the process, what do you witness the first thing? That they hardly have no memory of how they were before. This is exactly what this peace process is going to create among mankind. It will be a transition which will go so easy. It's not going to be so difficult. It's just the direction of the intent we're trying to guide, to build up the energy, to build up sufficient, that there is no shortage for nobody. Has anybody have this kind of experience to make these connections with the peace and how mankind will change?
I can add a detail. Some of us have seen these violet purple fields, some even with the eyes closed. And during my sighting, there was a point where this being, it was of a spherical shape at that moment, it shot behind the horizon. And then we thought, oh, the sighting is over. And then a few seconds after, with the flick of a switch or snap of a finger, in very short time, in few milliseconds, the whole north horizon was lit up with this violet purple light. And I have seen this field now at least 3 times. This was the first time while having the sighting. The second time was when I first connected a maggraph into my socket. Then my whole vision changed suddenly, and I have seen this field again. Then third time, it was when we were in Rome last September, and when we were concentrating on the healing for Naomi. And then the fourth time, I've seen it during a star formation meditation. And I have a feeling that this violet purple field has something to do with it. Maybe there could be one day where the night sky will be completely different, and showing all the stars in interaction with this violet purple field. It's just an idea. I'm not sure, but this violet field, it has something to do with it. This is what my soul is telling me. Thank you.
To bring back to your attention, because we had the 7th of July, the day of Fabio's passing. All of you, each one of you, remember that I brought Fabio and Naomi in the front with the prayer of Gandhi. Every time the intent of whoever was present or whoever was watching this presentation, the enormous field which were created to go towards Fabio, to go towards Naomi, have always given a huge boost to Naomi and her family, and also to Fabio and his family. Most of you knowledge seekers maybe were not so much aware of it, but because we are so close with the families, both of them, we've seen every time Naomi just jumped. Because of what? Because of our intent of sincerity to give her from our part. This is exactly the same process that will be developed, and we are developing with this peace letter, to give this increase of energy towards whoever will send this letter out, will carry that intent connected to this letter with the signature and the support of the core team, the Universal Council members, the Earth Council, the support members of the Universal Council, all the knowledge seekers and whoever is connected to the Keshe Foundation, let alone on the public platform. You will create waves. And I mean, this will engulf with such a beautiful gift. And as Mr. Keshe say, the more you give, the more you will receive. This is why I brought this topic on the table this morning, because it's all interrelated. How we manifest our wishes, how we connect them to this letter, because it has to be in wording, it has to be physical, that there is a trace of it, that the wishes have been written not only on paper but also in the soul. And through our expressing how we will send these letters out peacefully with the right intent, this is what Rick was trying to make sure we all understand, and through Vince to bring back the connection of the knowledge. All in combination, it all will become one wave of wish, one wish. And this was what Mr. Keshe said. The wish has to be there, the intent has to be there for it to materialize. So you're creating what the path of the wish of the peace will be. Each one of you today, all these days, all these hours, all these years, all these months are participating and are contributing from your part of your soul because you know what you want to achieve. You recognize the signs. You've been pulled like a magnet to it. Now you can show your light. Now you can show your energy. Now you can show your beauty. Now you can show your intent. And from this afternoon, you will see how fast this letter will travel around this globe. And I promise you, I will try to produce the second letter to connect it with whoever is not connected with humanity alone. That we involve the whole planet and every single soul, every single being, whatever name it carries an energy, is welcome to join us in this peace process. That's why we had to open the doors in the wish. Now you understand the platform. If I give you the examples, what we achieved with Naomi, have you seen what Naomi has achieved in 1 year? If one day Mr. Keshe is willing and Giovanni to open the full condition of Naomi, this was not possible. No way. I've seen the pictures. I've seen the scans. I've seen her condition. That was not possible. But she starts walking. So now, humanity, you're walking on the path of peace. Your soul is within this letter. Every single letter in that letter will express your wish. Materialize it, love it, comfort it, and send it out this afternoon as one, with love and care, with a lot of giving to a lot who need. That's my wish. Together. I love you all.
Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you.
Is there any other comments at this point?
Hi, it's James again. I'll make a comment, if I may. I think the problem has been identified, or not the problem, it's a dilemma has been identified. Somehow, one side we have this, we're a soul, and we're living in a physicality. That's our container, so we can interact with the physical world around us that we're experiencing. And there's one thing about knowing, this inner knowing that, yeah, we're on the right path and we're on a peace mission. The other thing is, though, the level of the consciousness of the physicality. And we have all the frailties of the human physicality. And I think it has to start with the self. There's a lot of things going off around on an individual level, within and without the Keshe Foundation, all around. Every individual is going through that, I suppose, at the moment, where if we don't concentrate on ourselves first, if we want peace, we have to have peace within ourselves. So, you know, my wish is that everyone would work in unison to raise their physicality, so that the knowingness that we have that feeling inside is reflected in the physicality. And only then can we really achieve peace. All this bickering and the infighting and the positioning and misinterpretations of things, deliberately sometimes and sometimes not deliberately, will eventually fade away, and we will get peace in our physical world, not just wishing it. We have to anchor that in the physicality. It's the same about this letter. It's one thing wishing, but if we don't send that out and anchor it in the physicality, we don't have the weight, we don't have the traction, we don't have the incorporation of the totality in that. So, my wish is that everyone, as soon as they get that letter, that they take an effort at least to send it to one person. And that's all I have to say, really.
Okay, I can relate an experience that I had that kind of ties these ideas together in a way. Part of my spiritual journey, you might say, or my spiritual quest in my life, I went away to an island and camped out for a few months on close to the beach in the Queen Charlotte Islands here in the Pacific Northwest of Canada. And part of that experience is I felt a very deep connection to our friends in space, let's say. And at that time, I was feeling like I really wanted to connect with these beings. I really wanted to be with them. I wanted to be taken off the planet and taken upon the spaceship, and basically I was ready to leave. I was ready to go away with these other beings and learn and be with them. That's the way I felt at the time. And I wanted to make this connection because I knew in my heart they were there. And I was on the beach on that night, and I was looking up at the sky one evening, and I saw this particular light among the stars that seemed unusual. It was moving differently than the stars, and I felt like that was called a UFO or a ship of some sort, and that was, I felt I had connection with these beings at that point, and I thought this was like my big opportunity. And I had this deep wish and deep, well, it was a wish, but it was verbalized as, I really wish to be with you people now. Take me with you. Please take me. And I got a reply deep inside myself. This voice came through that was not one of my normal voices inside myself, but it came from a very deep place in a deep tone and said, look inside yourself first. And that really started me on my spiritual quest. And that was 39 years ago when that event took place. And I've been looking inside myself and still with this idea of connectedness to other beings in space and so on. And so here I am. I find myself now in the last few years getting involved with the Keshe Foundation and hosting these workshops and this kind of thing, being intimately involved. And at the same time, this teaching is turning more toward the soul aspect, the spiritual aspect of our existence. And it's very interesting how, for me, it's come full circle in terms of I was basically told, or told myself, however you like to look at it, that it was time to look inside myself for the answers rather than externally, and that was important first, at least, in order to prepare myself, prepare me for some sort of interaction with possibly more advanced species or beings that have a few more abilities and so on than we do. So anyway, I just wanted to relay that. I haven't actually told very many people in my life about that particular experience, but it was probably one of, if not the most powerful experiences in my life. So it made a big impression on me and formed a lot of what I've done in the last 4 decades or so. And so we all have different experiences like that in our lives that are key experiences or you know, that really stick out for us, that something special happened during this time interval. And it's something that we can carry with us as part of our wish, part of what makes up our beingness on this planet. And if that's carried with us all the time, then the beings that you meet, you're kind of expecting to meet beings from other parts of space, or in other words, you don't have to have everyone you meet be a human from planet Earth. And even the humans from planet Earth, our existence is, you know, everything on Earth, all the matter on this Earth went through a star at one point. So it's all actually stardust. It's not really Earth in a way. So even if we were born on this planet and all of our cells are made up of the physicality of this planet and so on, that doesn't mean that our essence comes necessarily just from this planet. We're connected through that essence to the entire universe. And I think that's, if we can try to awaken that connectedness in others, then I think we're doing a service that is at the core of this world peace concept. It's a way that we bring peace by knowing that we can connect anywhere we can connect with others in the universe in a peaceful manner. We don't have to use aggression. It's an outmoded, unrealistic, unnecessary aspect of humankind that's maybe was necessary in the past for its survival among the animal kingdom, but the new mode of survival is through a peaceful interchange. And I think that's what we're starting to realize as a species, that the only way to really communicate is in a peaceful manner. And that will lead to us being able to, if we can do it amongst ourselves first by having this world peace, then it's a natural extension that we'd be able to extend that into the rest of the universe and extend peace everywhere. But peace begins at home, like they say. And first of all, it's inside of ourselves. We have to settle that out inside to find our own path toward peace inside of ourselves. And then there's the external world, the physicality world that we interchange with, that we try to change toward that manner of operating, that peaceful manner. Okay, I'm done for that.
Actually, that encompassed a lot of information, Rick, what you just said. Yeah, from what I understood, we incorporate all existence in this universe inside of us. This thing about being connected, making a connection with other entities, off-planet entities or in-planet entities or whatever entities, we have that connection anyway, just we don't realize it, a lot of us don't perceive it. The other thing about going up on the ships, basically there's a couple of realms of existence. One is our waking time, where we're walking around and we're seeing things and we're interacting with the physicality, and the other time's the dream time. The dream time life that we have is just as real and just as significant as our wake time. So who knows what you're doing when you're dreaming away in your bed? Maybe you are up on the ships, Rick. So yeah. And did you ever notice when you see those things, you perceive objects moving around, or you have strange experiences in your life that maybe you shouldn't be alive anymore, your physicality, you should have been destroyed, and it happens and you don't even think about it at that time. It always somehow seems so normal, and events that have happened in a life that we didn't think about at the time, now this is my experience, is that now we start thinking back, suddenly it pops back up in the mind, and you get some understanding of what was really happening at that time, and the significance of that. I don't know if you've experienced that. The other thing is about finding peace. There's a strange phenomenon that if we deny, okay, look at the ideas that Mr. Keshe was bringing forth lately about how we're created as a soul. Yeah, you have the physical interaction, the plasmatic interaction, all the fields coming in, the fields from our environment, the fields from our lineage. So we probably, along our lineage, we have those dark experiences, if you want to put it that way, inside of us as well. And if we deny that, we all make mistakes in life. We've all done things that we're not that proud of, yeah, out of naivety or whatever. If we deny that in ourselves and just package it away and don't want to look at those things and examine those things, then that denial becomes unconditional denial. And actually, aren't we supposed to be going to unconditional love? So I concluded from that for myself, I don't know you guys, what you guys are up to, but for myself, I try to reflect on those things and pick out the lessons that I've learned and the understanding now that I have. It sort of bring everything into concept and understanding why those things happened and that they were real, and move on from there. So it's good to go through a process of introspection. We look at our own fingers and not just look around and look for what other people have been up to. And then all this hate. I mean, if you realize that maybe we've got those field strengths inside us that aren't so benign, and we accept that and we clear that as part of the totality. Otherwise, if we don't, we're also only half complete. Then also the hate and the aggression and envy and all those emotions tend to fade away. So that's what I would like to say. What do you guys think about that?
Yep, sounds good to me. Any other comments on that?
think it's time we should take a break there, Rick.
Can I read something? Perhaps it's Doug.
Do you want to maybe save it for the afternoon session, Doug? Or
I have to go to bed, Rick. I've got to go up early.
Okay, and go ahead. We'll go a few minutes after here.
Sorry about that, but I just thought I'd like to read it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a letter to a Prime Minister's secretary. And it says, please, Diana, pass the following message to the Right Honourable Prime Minister of Australia, Malcolm Turnbull MP. The message is, my mother was a highly qualified nursing sister. She first married a handsome young officer in the civilian Light Horse just prior to World War II. A grazier by birth, he felt compelled to join the war effort and enlisted in the 2nd AIF, 2nd 16th Battalion. Clarence George was his name, Clary to his mates. My mother loved him dearly. He marched from Wagga Wagga to Tamworth with other young men to join the AIF. My mother waited, lonely, behind. When she could take leave from the district hospital in Lockhart, she made her way to Sydney, knowing Clary would be there. On arrival, she found that the Queen Mary troop ship was under military quarantine prior to sailing for the Middle East. Clary was on board. At the harbour side she stood, just looking longingly toward the giant grey ship. A water taxi skipper saw her, asked why she was there, and after she explained, he said, hop on board. Out they went to a gangway ladder on the side, and the water taxi skipper shouted up to some men smoking at the top, is Clary George there? Hang on, came the reply. And a moment later, out came Clary and down the ladder. Mum and Clary hugged and kissed each other, said their goodbyes, and knowing they were breaking the rules, hurriedly parted company. Months passed, and then came the letter. Killed in action, Battle of El Alamein. His remains are in the war cemetery there. My mum told me this story with tears in her eyes as I was leaving home as a young adult. She was a war widow who never claimed a pension, never received an inheritance from Clary's family once she married my father, and never held a grudge. She exuded only love and peace to all. She told me she loved my father as dearly as she loved Clary, and 3 children are in this world because of my mother's love. This is the reason I ask for an end to war, out of respect to those millions worldwide who have suffered the consequences. If the Prime Minister is too busy to sign the World Peace Treaty, that is a great shame upon his soul. Written with the pen of my soul to your souls, your servant, Douglas Charles MacDonald.
Very nice, Doug. Thank you very much.
Yeah, very nice, yeah.
Thank you, Doc, because you bring memories back from a lot of people's pains from their grandparents. My parents were war children as well.
Yeah.
And my grandmother and my grandfather would never talk about these things. It was like a silence veil over it.
Yes.
Only till the last 2 years of their life, they start talking about it. I knew from my mom, my grandfather was taken as a prisoner in a concentration camp. So he came back very badly damaged. He could not work as a normal person anymore because he was totally as a walking skeleton, as we say. But they managed to get him a job he could manage, and I still see him. He was, when he couldn't work anymore, peeling the potatoes for grandma, and us as children sitting on the table. If we would not finish our plates, he said, one day you will eat grass. And that was the only comment he used to give. And he looked at us, with a very strange way of looking that we would understand. But that has always stayed in my head. And then when my grandma came to her last 3-4 years of her life, she starts sharing more and more and more. How they had to live and duck and die for the children not to be taken to go or to be deported, to be a child. You hear me? Or I'm breaking up?
You're breaking up pretty badly there. It's hard to hear.
I understand though.
You can hear me. Yeah, they found a trick to put until acceptable age, to put all the boys in shorts. As long as they were wearing shorts, they were considered as children. So the ones who could escape, they just put them in shorts for them not to be picked up. And I lost my great grandfather in the First World War on the Eir. We call it Azer, the stream which then they flooded the whole Dixmude with it. He was bombed. So I think we all have scars from that war. Doesn't matter in which nation we are. And some have more and some have less. But thank you for sharing. It's something that needs to be achieved for sure.
Thank you.
To eradicate a lot of suffering, not only on that platform alone. Peace also means change of attitude, tolerance, removing the differences among us, in us, or to see and find the beauty in the difference. Not to look at it as something which is not acceptable, as we have experienced so many times through racism. It is an ugly face. Maybe it's a social illness instead of the word just discrimination, because it's something we have allowed to grow, to mature to a level which is no longer acceptable for none of us.
You notice the
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Caroline. The good thing from all of that is I'm here and my brother is here and my sister is here and I have a grandson, and that is you said the other night, everything that happens has a positive. So, nothing is really negative. Everything is actually positive. We just have to wait sometimes for the results or just to be able to see them as positive.
Our souls trust your soul, because our soul knows exactly the path we are walking. And it's already, as Mr. Keshe explained in the last two teachings, or one of the last 2-3 teachings, your soul already decides. It just needs to appear in the physicality, but the decision is already made before. And this was in the explanation of the behavior of the physicality. If you walk off the path, you will receive a correction on your path. And that correction is for you to adjust what your soul has brought back from whatever you have gone or walked off the path. Doesn't matter. We don't need to put it in any jacket. Every single one of us knows the paths of correction. We use the word karma, but I call it preferably correction path, because it reappears in front of you for you to understand, not to walk the path. So the easiest way, everybody knows, when you make a mistake in your mathematics, you need to go back and correct the mistake. I think life in all its experience and expression is you come to the phases of your corrections on your path. And if you're honest enough with yourself, the correction will be very fast and it won't repeat itself. You go to a higher level, you go to a higher class of maths. And this makes it much easier for people to understand the walk of life. They used all these fancy names and expressions and karma and try to explain to a child what karma means. But you try to explain him he has to correct his maths, he will understand straight away. So if you use the wording correctness and correcting in your path of life, in your behavior, your talking, your interaction with other people, the child will understand much faster. It's not such a difficult path because he is already walking it through the maths class.
Okay, I'd like to wrap things up here because we're like 15 minutes over on our break here. So let's carry on the conversation this afternoon, perhaps. It'd be a good way to start off the afternoon.
Is it 1 hour, Rick?
Yeah, we're supposed to have an hour, but it'll only be 45 minutes now because we'll be starting on the hour.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. See you later.
Okay, we'll take a break now on our Blueprint for Peace for Humanity, and we'll start the afternoon session at 2 p.m. Central European time, and we'll have another 3-hour session or less if necessary. So join us then. Okay, we'll end the live stream for now, and see you back in about 45 minutes here.
Thank you, Rick.